The UK government has stripped a Nigerian of his UK passport. Emmanuel Jack, 35 years old Nigerian, father of two, is currently facing immigration nightmare. The picture you are seeing on the screen, that is the picture of our brother Jack. Jack came to the United Kingdom in 1997 at the age of 10. He is a father of three children. Two of the children are his children, and one is his adopted daughter, who is now 16. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from the case of Jack. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Today we are sharing the story that hopefully someone can learn. There is no substitute when it comes to migration. Credible and reliable information is the key. If you see any value in today's content, you can show appreciation by giving this video a like, share this video, because there are lots of people that can learn from the case of our brother Jack, Emmanuel Jack. Jack came with his family to the United Kingdom when he was 10 years old. He has lived in the United Kingdom for 25 years. This man, he was doing very well. He came to the UK and he came to the UK and started mingling with the wrong people at a very young age. He eventually tried to turn his life around. In 2000 and between 2012, Jack was admitted to the University of Salford, where he was studying business. Life appears to be going well for our brother Jack. He thinks that everything was going well for him. However, around the same time was Jack was studying in university in Manchester, him and his friends, they thought his friends approached Jack and said, you know what, bro? Why are you wasting your time going through the route of education when you could be making easy money? We are making easy money without university degree. Don't waste your time. Jack looked around what his friends were, the kind of life they were living and the amount of money they were spending. Jack thought, oh, why do I need to go to school when these guys are already living the dream life? I'm not going back to school again. Jack packed his university education. Around that time, his friends introduced him to what is known as romance scam. Jack is now regretting that decision that he made. He left university and he started doing fast lane with these guys. Jack was using different names to operate on romance dating site. He was using names such as John Creed, Johnny Carlos, and different John Windsor. He was using all these names to prey on vulnerable women in the United States and the United Kingdom. He will make these women to fall in love with him, telling them that he's an architect. These women will fall in love with Jack. Jack and his friends, they end up collecting close to £200,000 from these women. What Jack didn't know that he didn't know that he was using his hand to dig in his grave. You hear that old saying, not all that glitters are gold. Anything that sounds too good to truth, it will not end well. Brother Jack was living the dream and living the fast life with nice clothes and nice cars, enjoying the benefit of his criminal underworld. Jack, now the police now arrested Jack. Jack then ended up in jail. Meanwhile, when the police arrested Jack, at that time, Jack had already applied for his indefinite leave to remain. He hasn't applied for British passport. When Jack realized that he could be going to jail, and he knew that if they sentenced him to more than 2 years in jail with his indefinite leave to remain, he will be stripped or he will be deported back to Nigeria. So Jack, as a sharp man, he thought he was smart. He went to apply for British passport. Jack got his British passport and Jack said, oh, Thank God, at least with his British passport, I will not be deported back to Nigeria if he served jail. He thought he was secure. He didn't know that the British state, if they want to hold you accountable for what you've done, they have all your record. Jack was sentenced to jail in 2014. Jack went to jail. When Jack came out of jail, the Home Office told him that they are planning to deport him. But what he didn't know is that in 2002, the Home Office has already revoked his British passport. They revoked the British passport, and Jack was even lucky that he found out that his British passport had been revoked while he was in the UK. Imagine if Jack had traveled abroad and is planning to return back to the UK, and he went to the counter to check in, only for them to tell him that, hey, Jack, your passport has been cancelled. Therefore, you cannot return back to the UK. He would not even stand a chance of coming back to the UK. Jack, in this case, he found out in the UK when they wrote him that his passport has been cancelled. And that was when the Home Office told him that, Jack, you are going back to Nigeria that you left when you were 10 years old. Whether you like it or not, you are going back to Nigeria. Jack then met a girl at that time who had one child. The girl is a British citizen. The girl and Jack, they have now had two other children. One of the children, the last one, who is 18 months, he was born premature, and that child has a lot of ongoing needs. The other child, who is six years old, has eye problem. Jack's children, the two youngest children, they required a lot of intervention by experts in health, and they have a lot of ongoing health needs, which means that a lot of professionals are involved in their life. So when Jack has this problem, he's been battling the court, telling the Home Office that he doesn't want them to return it back to the country. Meanwhile, Jack is now married, and he has now turned his life around. According to the report, he's a good man. He's doing he's very active in his local church. The Home Office said to him, Jack, whether you like it or not, you're still going back to Nigeria. That is when the Home Office took the case to court. Jack appealed the first time. The Home Office is now telling Jack that, look, because of what you have done, you are going back to Nigeria. You're no longer a British citizen. You have to go back to Nigeria because you've served more than 3 years in jail. When the case appeared in court, the 16-year-old child who sees Jack as her father, that's the eldest child that the woman that he's now married to had that child before she met Jack. That child wrote a letter to the immigration tribunal saying to them that if you send Jack back to Nigeria, knowing full well that my other two siblings, they have ongoing health needs, if you send Jack back to Nigeria, this family will be ripped apart because he is the glue that holds the family together. So the family is now arguing that Jack should be allowed to stay in the United Kingdom under Article 8 of the European EU law of the right to family life. Jack is using the right to family life to argue that he should not be deported back to Nigeria because he has two children who are British, and the other child who's 60, who calls him daddy, that he is settled in the UK, he hasn't committed any crime again, that he should be given a second chance. While the UK government is saying to him that you must go back to Nigeria because your citizenship has been withdrawn, you have served more than 2 years in prison. Let me know in the comment section what your views are, whether you have any sympathy for Jack, knowing full well that the man has tried to turn his life around and he's trying to rebuild his life, and he is the main glue that hold the family together, according to him and his wife. The case went to the court. The Home Office said they will not accept anything that Jack and his legal team have said, that Jack will still need to return back to Nigeria. So the case, the judge that looked at the case said, on the balance of probability, that he said, we conclude that given the extremely close relationship that in this particular circumstance, Mr. Jack shares with his family. His separation from the family as a result of deportation would have a very great emotional and psychological impact on them, which goes far beyond the impact that might be experienced where there is no such close or unbroken shared history. We find that the strength and depth of his relationship with his wife and children and the close involvement he had in their care over a prolonged period means that it is highly likely that the young children in particular would suffer emotional, psychological, and physical impact as a result of his removal that is duly harsh. Weighing all these factors and having due regard for the public interest in deportation of foreign criminals, we are nonetheless satisfied that the effect of the deportation of Mr. Jack will be duly harsh on his wife and children. Furthermore, the priest at Jack's church presented a letter and said Jack is a devoted father, that if Jack is sent, meanwhile, Jack attended Church of England. The priest said if Jack is deported and sent back to Nigeria, that the family will be torn apart. There's no way the family can survive without Jack. Some people have argued that the crime that Jack committed, it does not meet the threshold for the government to even deprive him of his citizenship, because at the end of the day, this man has done his time. He did not commit, he didn't pose any risk to national security or to the public, that it should not go this far to the point where Jack had to be deported. Let me know whether you have any sympathy for Jack, or you think that Jack should be deported back to Nigeria. He has committed crime because he has done what he shouldn't do. At the end of the day, let me know. Do you know anyone who has British passport? Because the government own law, which you are seeing here, makes it very clear the ground for removing citizenship from a nationalized citizen is national security, including espionage and acts of terrorism, unacceptable behavior, such as the glorification of terrorism, war crimes, crime against organized crime. Those are the 4 crimes that you have to commit according to the government own guidance before you are deprived of their citizenship. In the case of Jack, there is no evidence, as far as we know, that he poses any risk to the public or he is a threat to the UK state. Let me know what your views are. Do you think that Jack should be allowed to stay in the UK, or do you think that he should be deported, that Article 8 should not be used to keep a man who have scorned British and American citizens, their hard-earned money, that the man should be deported? Let me know. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from this story. Jack did not pose, as far as we are aware, there is no evidence linking Jack to any terrorism or organized crime. He was involved in romance scam, which is appalling. He exploited vulnerable women who were lonely and looking for love. That is absolutely wrong. But some people are saying that Jack has already served his time. He is a father. He is trying to rebuild his life. That's sending him back to Nigeria, a country he left when he was only 10 and is now 35 years old. That is wrong. What are your views about the case of Jack? Do you think that Jack needs to be deported back to Nigeria? A lot of people have British passport, but they are not aware of the grant for deporting foreign nationalized citizens and stripping them of their citizenship. Let me know. As we are speaking now, the case of Jack is still ongoing. The UK government is saying that they have more than 8,000 foreign criminals that they are trying to deport back to their home country, and some of them they will have to strip them of their passport. If you see any value in this content, you can show appreciation by giving this video a like. Share this video with anyone. There is no substitute when it comes to information. That is the difference between success and failure. Hopefully, someone will learn. And Jack is a Nigerian. His British passport has been stripped. He's been stripped of his British passport and is facing deportation as we speak now. This is a young man, as I said before, who came to the UK when he was 10 years old, and he learned everything here in the UK.